Does a second interview mean you've got the job? This is a question that lingers through the mind of any candidate or job seeker who has just received an email or a phone call inviting them for the second round of an interview. Join me in this discussion as we shed more light on how best you need to prepare for the second round of interviews and how it differs from the first round. I am glad to be joined by one of our interview coach, Evelyn, who will be shedding more light on this subject. Stay tuned. Thank you, Evelyn, for joining.
Thank you so much, Mary, for having me here.
Great. I know every job seeker, whenever they're applying for jobs, they want to be shortlisted for interviews.
Right.
And having gone through the first round of an interview, we are either waiting to be called to be confirmed for the role or for the second phase. Now, looking at the second phase of an interview, how does the goals and the structure differ from the first round?
So now, Mary, the first interview is usually focused on getting to know the candidates more, their background, as well as their general fit for the role. The second interview, on the other hand, it's typically more in-depth and are structured at the same time to delve deeper into a candidate's specific skills, experiences, and expertise to excel in that particular role. The second interview, you'll find that it involves more technical and role-specific questions to just gauge a candidate's fit for the role. And then you'll also find that employers want to evaluate more on a candidate's problem-solving skills, critical thinking, as well as decision-making abilities. And then it also involves more stakeholders. Now, you'll find that several team members are involved to just get to evaluate a candidate's fit for the role. Now, the overall goal, Mary, it is to just validate the first initial positive impression and also ensure that the candidate has the necessary competencies to thrive in that particular role. Yes, Mary.
I know, and as a recruiter also, I know second interviews are quite very intense, just as you have elaborated as compared to first round.
Yes.
Now, I've gotten the invitation for a second interview.
Yes.
As a coach, having prepared candidates for different roles, what are the typical signs that a second interview would insinuate a job offer is most likely?
Okay. Now, the more comprehensive and substantive the second interview is, the more likelihood for a job offer. Now, some of the key signs may include in-depth questioning, as well as extended interview duration. So you'll find that employers get more interested in, or rather they give more time to candidates that they're going to be considering for that particular role. And then secondly, you find that there is interview with high-level managers as well as executives. Now, this is basically for roles that, or rather for candidates who are applying for senior level positions. And then lastly, you'll find that there'll be detailed discussions about the role, team, the rest of the team, as well as even the company itself. And what this indicates is that the employer is trying to sell the opportunity to the candidate. Now, these factors collectively suggest that the employer is very interested in the candidate and they find them as a strong contender for that particular role. Yes, Mary.
I know if we are being interviewed or if you're interviewing for a very senior level role or even an executive role, a first round interview may not be enough.
Yes.
So in cases where I'm interviewing for senior level executive roles and I've been invited for a second interview, how does the timeliness or the steps in the second interview for a senior level role, how does it differ? How does it work?
Now, the timeline for senior level or executive roles is often extensive and more lengthy compared to entry-level positions as well as mid-career positions. And there are a few reasons for this. Number one, it's because these positions require increased scrutiny and vetting. So since they are senior level positions, they need to be, the candidates need to be thoroughly evaluated to just make sure that they fit that particular role. And then secondly, there is multiple stakeholder involvement. So you'll find that these interviews involve panels, presentations, as well as even assessments to just get input from various team members as well as decision makers. And then we also have background checks as well as reference checks. So you find that employers, when it comes to this particular senior level positions, they do an extensive due diligence on the candidates to just get to know about their employment history, accomplishments, as well as leadership abilities. Now, the timeline can vary, Mary, but you'll find that most senior level positions can take several weeks or even months, and with, of course, multiple rounds of interviews, assessments, and even deliberations. Now, candidates need to be more prepared for a more drawn-out but comprehensive process. Yes, Mary.
I know it can be very intense, just trying to get the most suitable candidate who is a more better fit, depending on the nature of the role, how demanding it is.
Yes.
So could there be any strategies that job seekers can use perhaps to increase their chances of getting an offer after a successful second interview?
Yes, Mary, there are quite a number of strategies that our candidates can employ to just make sure that they succeed in the second interview. Now, the first one is doing a thorough preparation. They can also seek a mock interview session whereby they are guided on how best to prepare, doing studying of the job description so that they can understand the roles very well, as well as even industry research. That is now before the interview itself. Now, during the interview, they have to show continued interest as well as enthusiasm. They can also showcase their problem-solving skills, whereby they provide examples of how they've tackled challenges in their previous roles before, and of course, excellent outcomes as well. And then they can also showcase their fit for the role by just reiterating how their skills, experiences align with the job requirements, as well as the mission and culture of the organization. Yes, Mary.
Wow. I know at the second interview, and based on the typical signs you've just discussed, of probability, the likelihood of me getting the offer, I wouldn't want to miss out on the strategies.
Amazing.
So that I remain standing out as a good candidate.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing, Evelyn.
Thank you so much, Mary, for having me here.
Great. Indeed, just as you could have prepared for the first round of the interview, as Evelyn has rightfully echoed, second interviews are quite intense. It may not insinuate that you already have the offer, but this is an opportunity for you to even tighten your belts more tighter so that you are able to package yourself as a more better solution for the role that you are being interviewed for. And that is why we encourage you to reach out to us if you have any upcoming interview, and we'll be able to tailor the mock session specifically for you to get to package you best in order to be able to capture the mind of the interviewer during your interview sessions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to our channel, like, share with us in the comment section what you'd want us to capture, and we'll be glad to discuss it in our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.